Hey folks, so the other day I was cruising through TikTok and I come across a flat earther named Fabulously Blocked. And he was banging on about his flat earth math. And the fact is that he somehow proven the flat earth through some math of his that he had done. And he was arguing over the circumference of the flat earth and the circumference of the equator. And somehow he thinks that all math is wrong or something like that. So it's quite funny actually. So let's have a little look, because he actually in a way debunked the flat earth, because all of his measurements, which could be right for flat earth, actually falsifies the flat earth, because everything south of the equator then that is demonstrably proven and can be measured, and we know how big everything is through distances and measurements, falsifies the flat earth. So let's have a look at Fabulously Blocked and see his math and see how it actually proves the earth is a globe. So in the video here, Fabulously Blocked is only letting one person up at a time, even though he had all his boxes open. I think later on he lets a few other people up, but in this one here, he's only letting one up at a time. And a guy who is actually fairly good at math, named Belity, is speaking. He came in, and I was already in there. He came in and only came up very cordially. I wanted to speak to Fabulously Blocked and work through the math, because Fabulously Blocked had come up with this math a few days before, and this has been an ongoing discussion, and everybody's been trying to tell him that this math doesn't work, but he's quadrupling down on it. So let's listen to the conversation, and then we'll see if we can kind of go through near the end here.
If you have that circumference of the equator, you said it was 24,872. Right,
there is no circumference of an equator on a flat earth, Liddy.
And that there first gives you the first indication of just how delusional Fabulously Blocked is. Because the widely kind of accepted, or at least postulated, flat earth model is a flat disk. So it's a flat circle with, sometimes you put a dome over top of it, stuff like that. So here it's a dome. So yeah, you can get a circumference of an equator on your flat earth, because the flat earth is a round circle, and the circumference is the measure of a circle's exterior. So yeah, you do get a circumference of an equator on a flat earth. But Fabulously Blocked is too dumb to realize that.
Well, okay, hold on.
Let's back out of our flat earth.
Okay, fine. The measure, okay, a circumference is just a simple way of saying the measure of a circle. So the measurement of that circle, of the equator,
you're on
like
the inside of a circle, so you're not on the outside of the circle doing the math. It ain't going to work for you.
Okay, but you said it was 24,872, right? Right?
So Fabulously Blocked actually does this several times in this interaction, in which he just kind of disappears and you don't hear anything from this large silences. So I'm going to try to cut them out to save a bit of time and bring continuity a bit to this video.
Right, gotcha. So that's what, we won't call it a circumference. How about we'll call it the distance? Now, how do we get that distance? How did you get that distance? What was the equation you did to get the 24,872?
I'd minimize the circumference.
He does what? I mean, the only way to minimize the circumference of a circle is reduce the radius. But you watch and see that Fabulously Blocked actually has no idea what he's actually talking about. And he's using a word, and then his explanation makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
You minimize, okay, so this is the circumference. Sure, okay, minimize the circumference, we could say that. Right, because you said this was 62.15 from here to here as well.
How you minimize the circumference?
What's up?
Know how you minimize the circumference?
How do we do that?
You don't? No?
I don't know how to do that. Can you tell me?
You simply just divide it by pi.
You divide the circumference by pi. Well, if you do that, you get 2r.
What do you mean 2r?
So the equation of...
You don't square anything, you're minimizing.
No. That's not squaring. 2r is not squaring. 2r is doubling. So a circumference, as you know, is 2 pi r.
Doubling, minimizing, Liddy.
Hold on. Okay, minimizing. Fine. So you said to minimize, you said you divide it by pi? Is that what you said?
Yes, that's exactly what he said. He said to minimize circumference, you divide it by pi. Now, obviously, we usually take pi, shorten it down to 3.14. Obviously, pi goes on for it's infinity. It's a irrational number, but to minimize the circumference, Fabulously Block says you divide it by pi. But if you looked it up, only takes a 2-second Google search, you reduce its radius. So to reduce the circumference, you make it smaller. That's all. By the way, this is another long gap of which Fabulously Block just kind of disappeared and didn't see anything. So I've cut it out. So you'll see a bit of a jump. That's only just to cut out all the dead air.
I'm waiting for you to do that. I'm
asking you a question. You said minimizing means you divide by pi, right?
You want to do it? You want to try it? See what you get?
Okay, so dividing 20. So if we have 24,872.
That's not the circumference of the flat Earth.
No, you said that's the measure of the equator. Okay, if I have a measurement of this,
you don't know what a flat Earth is, do you?
Fabulous. I do know what a flat Earth is.
What would be the circumference of a flat Earth?
Okay, well, it's going to be 6215 plus 6215, which is 12. Oh, God damn it. 12430, right? So this is the radius times pi times 2, right? That would be the circumference of the...
I've already did the math for you, bud. It's right there. 78,098.08.
Okay.
I did the math myself, so 2 pi r, so which comes out to 78,099.99, but we'll use it as close enough.
Okay, fine. So then that equals
circle.
Fabulous. Are you willing to have a discussion or listen to me? I'm talking to you. I'm not mad at all.
Do, bud.
Okay, fine. 78. What did you say? 78 what? 78. 78,698. Okay.
098.
098. Sorry. 78 0.08. Okay. So that number that you get is the measurement of this. So you said it was 78,098.08. Fine. We'll use that one. Okay?
All right.
So when we plug, that's the circumference. So as we know the circumference, it equals 2 pi r. So if we plug in 78,098.8 and we plug it into as the circumference, that's going to equal 2 pi r, correct?
No.
No, but you said that.
What? 2 pi r from what?
You said 78,098 is the circumference, is it not?
Yeah, why are you doing 2 pi r?
Because that's the equation of a circumference.
Yeah, but what's r?
I don't know yet. That's what we're going to find.
Yeah, you do.
Right. Okay. We do. Okay. So this is r. Good. Okay. So you're following. This is r. That's correct. Right. So r is equal to 12.
Liddy, I did the math. How am I following? You're the one that needs to follow here, bud.
Because I'm catching up to you. So just relax while I get it.
You're following. I'm not.
Just relax, dude. I'm not mad at you. I'm following you. Just listen, please. So we have 12, 4, 3, like you said, 12, 4, 3, 0.
Liddy, you know how many questions I asked you when I did the math? 0.
Do you want me to do the math and come back to you? Because if I do that, you disagree with what I have. I'm doing the math in front of you.
Okay, great.
Okay, so this is equal to the radius, right? Of the flat Earth. That's equal to this distance. That's from you. You said that, right? That's equal to the radius. And when we do 2 pi r, we get that. Good. We're on the same page. I agree with you 100%. So let's measure, though, the equator now.
I don't want to.
Why?
That's your globe. You can measure your globe all you want.
But flat Earth, so flat Earth and globe both have an equator.
Yeah, and your equator's your circumference.
No.
Mine isn't.
No, I don't even need it to be a circumference.
It is.
But it's not. Let's say it's not. Let's say
Yeah,
I don't.
your globe equator is your circumference, Liddy.
Okay, fabulous. Let's say I disagree with that.
All right.
Okay, good. So let's say we're on a flat Earth, and the measure of this circle, right? How do you think we get the measurement of this circle? Probably the same way we get the measurement of this circle, right? The same way, because it's the measurement of a circle, right? So how do we get this? How
you do it.
Okay, so here we use 2 pi r. Now, if we're going to get the measurement of the circle, we know, you and I both know the equator on the flat map is halfway from here to here, right? So it's going to be right there. So that point. So we can make a circle that's halfway to the center. That's the equator, right? Do we agree?
So what's the distance?
Okay, so the distance of that is going to be, right? If we're gonna say it's halfway, that means that 6251 is half of 12430.
Yep.
What?
Six.
Yeah,
6215.
Sorry, thank you. 6215 is halfway, right? Because 12430 is the radius on the flat map, right? Then half of it's going to be 6215, right? So the same way that we got this, I'm gonna use this now to get this, right?
Let's see you do it.
Good. So we got 12430, which is the radius, times pi, right?
Yep.
I'm sorry. 62515 times pi times 2, right? 2 pi r, right? The same thing. The same way we got your radius on a flat map. We're going to measure the same. What's up?
What's the answer?
The answer ends up being 39, what was it? 39090?
Oh, is that your globe?
So the problem is, right? That's the measurement we get. So listen, hold on.
Your globe, Liddy.
Stop and listen. Dude.
Your equator is your circumference, son.
Listen.
Debunk the globe.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Stop and listen. Stop and listen.
I think you've dug yourself a big enough hole as it is.
Fabulous. Stop and try to listen. I'm trying to be very cordial.
Quit crying, Liddy. You just debunked your globe. With measurements you can go out and get in reality, son.
Right, so he kicked Liddy, as you've seen there, and it's because Liddy was just trying to get down to his math, and probably there he's going to start, you would have used real measurements that would have falsified the flat Earth. And I think that Fabulous Blocks was kind of onto that and just kicked him, because he actually didn't want to have any pushback, because he could see where he was going and realizing he was using all of his math to make sure that Fabulous Block couldn't scream and cry that he used the wrong math, and he was going to take and then rip apart the flat Earth. So, well, you know, Fabulous Block said we can go out and take these measurements in real life. And you know what? We can do that, and we have done that, and we have many measurements all over the globe, especially in the southern hemisphere, where pretty much his whole math falls apart. Stuff like South America, South Africa, most of Africa actually, and obviously Australia, New Zealand, stuff like that. So let's use a few examples of real world observations and measurements that we have done. We've built roads, we've flown over these lands, we have built railways, and we know exactly how long and how big they are, and especially how wide they are. So let's have a look and see if this all works out in reality. Does a flat Earth work out, or does a globe work out? Let's have a look. So we'll start out with the flat Earth map. Now this is the Gleason's time chart map that flat Earthers kind of widely accept as being close to the model. Now it's a projection of the globe. We all know this. It says it right in the patents. But let's ignore all that, and let's just say this is the flat Earth as most flerfs. This is what they claim it looks like in reality, and all the measurements are true. So as this is a time calculator and it's designed to tell different times around the globe, it has 24 segments of lines of latitude, which will work out fine. So let's take a look at Australia. Now Australia takes up, let's say, 2 3/4 of lines of latitude. So let's use that for measurement. So we use fabulously blocked calculation of the circumference of flat Earth. I know I got a different number, but we use his so that way I don't get accused of using the wrong measurement. So I'm going to divide that by 24 so we get what each segment works out to be. So that works out to 3,254.8 miles. So we're going to use that number, we're going to round the 0.8 to 0.9, and then we're going to times it by 2.75. So according to Fabulously Blocked, Australia should be 8,948.74 miles east to west. So let's see how it works out. So according to Fabulously Blocked, Australia should be 8,950 miles nearly across. But in reality, it's actually 2,500 miles across, and this has been measured. So let's compare United States of America to Australia. So according to Fabulously Blocked, this map presents reality and the globe is completely wrong. So let's check it out and see. Let's check out the continental United States. We find it's 300 miles wider than Australia. When you lay them over top of each other, you can see how it works out in reality. Now how about we check out South America and see how that works out. Looks like South America has taken up about 3 sections there. So take our previous number of 3,254.09, we times it by 3 for the 3 different sections of latitude, and we get 9,762.27 miles. So in reality, what's the width of South America at its widest is 3,000 miles. So as you see, when we actually look at reality and we look at what's actually been measured with all the measurements we've done, we find that the flat Earth is easily falsified as none of the measurements or none of the math works. So we take the math that Fabulously Blocked thinks that he has done and that somehow he thinks falsifies the globe. And we actually apply it to reality of what we know of measurements of different lands. As we've, like I said, we've done surveying over these lands many times. We've built roads, built railways. We've done flights over the top of these lands, and we know how big and how far they are. We have satellites that orbit the Earth that measure them right down to a very fine detail, and we know how big these are. And with that, we can falsify the flat Earth quickly and easily. So, Fabulous's claim of the Earth, at least the very end of it, his flat Earth being 78,000, just over 78,000 miles, doesn't work in reality whatsoever, because everything south of the equator falsifies that with our actual real world measurements. He says to measure things in real world, and we have, and when applied to his math, it starts to fall apart quickly. Now, we don't even want to try to discuss something like how fast does the sun rotate over the flat Earth. We use his math, and we start finding that the sun's rotation, however it rotates over the flat Earth, and floats above that. No flat earthers being able to explain this to me or anybody else, other than saying magic or the grace of Magic Sky Daddy. Then it starts to really falsify it, because then you start getting into the tens, if not hundreds of thousands of miles per hour, just for the Earth to do its spinny thing over the Tropic of Capricorn. So you don't even want to try to apply that, because it will just even destroy this fallacy of this flat Earth and all of this math that he thinks is somehow falsifying the globe. But it really isn't at all, and this would put a nail in the coffin. But if anybody wants to do that, or you can go check out MC Tin's channel, where he done this about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he ran through all the math step by step. And you can watch him do it, and you can see that it destroys the flat Earth even further. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the like, follow me for more, click the like button, subscribe, or whatever you need to do. You can call it on here, and we will see you again. Thanks for watching. Ah, yes. The good stuff. Always sweeten my coffee with the tears of flerfs.